Welcome to Trophy Taker Outdoors. It's that time of year, bass fishing.
This is the time.
Tis the season.
This is me. Tis the season. Tis the season.
Not for presents, not for turkeys, for steak and pigs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Florida, this is the time. If you're going to come and have the best chances all year long to catch a trophy bass, 8 pounds or greater, this is going to be
These 2 months are
These are going to be your time to come here and do this. I mean, this is the charter captain business is going crazy right now.
We decided to hit a few lakes and check them out, but with the crazy weather that we've had, you got those ups and downs.
unconditionally warm.
And this is the great thing about Florida, because at any
You
moment,
can wear shorts in the wintertime.
Yeah, you can wear
That's
shorts in
great.
the wintertime.
Sunscreen in the wintertime also.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of these fish a little bit like North Florida or
Yep.
northern states, but then you have those other pits that are just all year round. You could throw a
Kitchen sink out there.
anything,
And they'd bite.
and they're gonna bite. So, and we decided to go out and do that. We all went out to different lakes. I know Big O and I, he had a little gem that he wanted to go to, and
Little hole in the wall. See?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Little explosion there.
yeah. When I was actually driving up to that pit, I was like, am I going to be safe around here? It was right in the middle of downtown,
Yeah.
I don't even understand.
Every lap we made sure the truck was still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Windows were still on.
but you see that right?
Right
it
in the
doesn't
middle
matter.
of there,
It
yeah.
doesn't matter.
When
This
that
is time
magical temperature, 63 to 67 degrees, depending on which lake
Yeah.
you go to,
Yeah.
hits, it is on.
And typically those smaller pits and smaller lakes will start, early. I know the Winter Haven chain is probably one of the earliest lakes that,
Those
I
lakes
can
tend
go
to
to.
cool down quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And warm up faster.
And warm up faster.
So there you go.
and that depends on water clarity. You've got dirty water, you've got clean water. So it just depends on what you're trying to fish out here, where you're fishing, whether it's Okeechobee, Kissimmee, Winter Haven chain, Harris, St. Johns River. You have a diversity of lakes that you can choose from. So and it just depends on what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, the weather.
Because it changes, by the day.
By the day.
Yep.
It could be calm outside, but then you got a cold front roll in, and you got 20-mile-an-hour winds out of the north. That can affect the fishing tremendously.
And drop the temperature 20 degrees overnight.
Overnight.
Oh, yeah, you're 50 degrees, and
Yeah.
2 days later, you're 85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And us growing up in Florida, we kind of adapt to that and kind of know what the situation is, but we still have our bad days. It doesn't mean because we live in the fishing capital of the world, we're going to just kill them every time.
It's not paradise all the time.
No, it's not. So
It's called fishing, not catching.
exactly. We decided to, myself, go fishing with you guys separately. We went to a couple different lakes. John, you had a special little place to go to.
Yeah, little
Which,
gym.
when we talk about fishing in Florida and you say a private pit,
Everybody's eyes perk up. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, really?
And we're
I wanna
saying
be- I
private
want-
pits.
I want to be your friend.
That's right.
Yeah, there's tons of Polk County
Yeah.
and the surrounding areas are littered with the old phosphate pits that were dug in the 50s and 60s, and
Yeah.
they're phenomenal.
We love it. We love it here. We love the way the fishing is. And I decided to go out and do a little scouting before we went on this trip with all you guys. And it was weird. It was actually weird between probably the 10 lakes that I hit, maybe 2 or 3 really panned out.
Yeah.
So, and I tried a lot of different things. You and I tried a lot of stuff on Kissimmee because you and I went to Kissimmee and
It was just tough.
it was tough, and that's fishing.
Yep.
We're not going to sugarcoat it, because we're on a TV show. We're
Yeah.
That was
gonna
bluebird sky
yeah.
after a cold front. I mean,
Yep.
conditions don't get any
Yeah.
tougher for it.
Listen, we've all fished tournaments, and we know what it takes to go out there and just fish hard and try to find a fish, and that's what this is what our episode is with, in an educational purposes too, because coming up we get to do something that is absolutely phenomenal. We get to go out with FWC
The shock boat.
on the shock boat.
Nice.
So it's gonna be pretty cool.
That is the only type of fishing I would like to do, full time.
That's,
Could you go imagine just looking at all the 8s and 10s and 12s, the stuff that you don't even know that's down there.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so we're going to have a lot of fun. And, when we come back, we're going to show some footage of us going and doing a little fishing.
It's awesome.
It's going to be fun. All right, stick with us. Trophy Taker Outdoors.
Trophy Taker Outdoors is being brought to you by Nautic Sport, Power Pole, Salt Life Optics, Blazer Boats, the A.B. Biller Company, and by Graphics Edge.
Welcome back, Trophy Taker Outdoors, bass fishing, Central Florida. I'm going to start off with Big O. You and I went out. We just had a phenomenal time.
Egypt Lake,
Yep.
Tampa, Florida. Joe Urso, UT baseball.
Awesome guy.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate him having us on the lake, and not a very big lake. And
No.
we were just talking about this. I mean, just because it's a small lake,
Don't get it twisted.
Sleeping.
Small lakes could be
Yeah.
the sleeping giant.
If Lee would have Florida, he would have been on the other side.
Yeah.
Some giant bass come out of farm ponds.
let me go over what we were looking at. Cattails, hydrilla, lily pads, little coves that we targeted just
Right.
because of the spawn, and they had little flats in there, and that was one of the deals. Right off the bat, I said, Big O, let's go ahead and just start trolling and see without even fishing, because that's how we you want to assess
You want to
the
see
lake.
if the beds are holding fish or not. If
and
you
assess
can.
the lake. You don't know what you're fishing. We did that for about what? I couldn't help myself. Maybe 20 minutes,
Yeah.
not even that. And then I said, we got to pick up a fishing pole.
Yeah, I'm impatient.
So we started off with a fluke, 30-pound braid. Can't beat it.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with a fluke. But we had, for the first maybe 30 minutes, we didn't really have any luck.
No
And,
action.
we had a couple fish boil up on it. So I said, let's change up a little bit. We ended up going with a swim bait that had a little bit more action.
A little more action, yeah.
Mhm.
That tail. And let me tell you something. It was like a light switch. The key part of that lake was cattails and a bare bank that was
Flat.
a flat on it. And that was really the key, because as it got warmer, those fish pulled up into those beds. We went ahead, we caught probably, I don't know, 30 fish that day. We had a great day. You cannot beat a swim bait bite. That you can
My
just
favorite bait
rip
bite
the lips
by
on
far.
them thing. I'm telling you, if you watch the footage, I am just jacking fish on there.
They eat it, man.
Yeah, they eat it. There's no hesitation. I had a blast, and I want to thank Joe for having us out
Coach
there.
Joe
and-
Urso.
Yep. So down middle of Tampa. Then I go out with you on a private pit,
Yep.
Lake X.
Lake X. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a false
Is that
bait
what we're
pit.
gonna call it?
Lake X. Yeah, we'll just call it Lake X. It's a
great
private
name.
false bait pit.
So we went out, we put the boat in, and just immediately, we didn't even crank up the engine. We just threw the trolling motor down right at the boat ramp and just started trolling.
going.
Yeah,
Beds everywhere.
everywhere.
And no fish on them.
No fish. We threw and threw and threw, and again, we started with some top water, and figuring because of the clean water,
Right.
we'd get a big one to come up, and that didn't happen. We ended up changing up. We ended up throwing a fluke
Fluke in the swim bait.
and a
Yep.
fluke and a swim bait, and then that's when it
Started
started.
happening. Yeah.
I tell you what, there's nothing better than pitching into a big old mat and hearing that.
That line just screeched.
Hearing that
Screech.
braid just
Cutting
cutting through
eyes.
the
love that.
through those hyacinths.
That's a music to my ears
Yeah.
when you're flipping. There's nothing better.
And
Yeah.
and the bite on that was weird. You pitch in there and you'd feel like it was just hung up on a hyacinth
Yeah,
or
just- it
something
would just
heavy.
get heavy- just get heavy.
heavy. And then there was other ones that would just knock the rod out of your hand.
Yep.
So You know, but that was a lot of fun. That lake has so many things you can do. You can fish offshore with some rocks in about 30 foot of water. You can fish the bank and hit tree limbs, tree limbs. You could go out there and fish mats and
Hyacinth
docks.
mats.
I mean, it's just so much stuff. Hydrilla out there where you flip in hydrilla. So there was a lot of stuff. And that's the thing I was telling about, you know, fishing all these different lakes in Florida. It was awesome.
You got to be ready for everything.
Yeah.
Just like a lake like that. It has every kind of structure you could imagine. And
So you and I went to Kissimmee.
Yeah, we go to Kissimmee. Kissimmee, you know, can be the best and the hardest lake ever to fish because it can be so rewarding when you do go in there and you know, put a 30-pound sack together.
Yeah.
But some days you can go in there and come back with just the rod
good
you
is
came
good.
with.
When it's good, it's good. When it's
You
bad,
could
it's
come
real
back
bad.
with some hurt feelings.
Yeah, I mean, hurt. Hero to zero.
Yeah.
And then you're bitter with your buddies on a private
Oh,
lake
yeah.
out here.
Oh man! But you know what was weird is we started on the south end of that lake, and that lake's 10 miles long, isn't it? From the lock to
Good night.
from river to river. We didn't find not one bit of clear water anywhere.
That's my way of fishing. That's the first thing I do is find clean water
In any lake.
in any lake.
I have to think kind of like us. You're not going to want to walk if you're by a fire that's got nothing but smoke. Are you going to stand in the smoke all day, or are you going to move over to the side where you can breathe?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what. When we come back, we're gonna do some shocking. We get a hold of Paul Thomas, director of fisheries with FWC, and this is something that I've always wanted to do. And,
Me too.
and
That's awesome.
When we come back, we're going to talk about that. Stick with us, Trophy Taker Outdoors. Hey, welcome back, Trophy Taker Outdoors. Talking a little bass fishing. Your host, Lee Sapiro, Peter Petru, Captain John Gunner, Captain Big O.
Good morning.
We're going to just do a recap on this. We went out to Kissimmee. You had some line issue.
Yeah, John had some line issues.
So
Do you know anything about that?
It worked.
John borrowed it. John called me. He's like, hey, listen, my son took my fishing rods and he never brought them back. So can I borrow Pete's? I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? Pete?
I didn't hear anybody ask to borrow mine, but I guess it was okay. We go out to Kissimmee, and within 5 minutes, I have a giant come, and he's like, "Oh, it's good." I set the hook, snap. I'm like, okay. I tie on another one. I don't know, hour later, snap. I mean, that fish never felt the hook.
I'll tell you
that
right.
fish never felt the hook either. I
Your
was like,
line was
and I was
rotten.
like, seriously,
Listen,
what is going on?
When Pete doesn't say anything, he's mad.
I'm mad.
He was mad. I even went to the back of the boat.
We've scoured the lake. Nothing. Zero
Oh, yeah.
bites. And the two I got snapped.
Broke off.
I'm ready to quit. I'm ready to say, okay, you know, I'm done here.
Those
As
cattails.
soon as we got in the truck, I said, call Gunner right now.
You know, it's funny because you let your friends borrow your stuff, and
Never comes back right.
Never
Gotta
comes back.
have something to blame it
That's
on.
just the excuse right there.
after that, we get the call from Paul Thomas, FWC, and he's the director of fisheries over here in Central Florida. And let me tell you something. When I got that call, I was Pete. You
Excited.
could make it.
I was
Joe
like,
could make-
oh,
I was like,
man, what a-
Gunner's like, are you kidding me?
Where
I'll
do we
take the
meet
day
you at?
off.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was my anniversary. I was gonna go. I'm telling you, that
that was-
is a trip of a lifetime. If you've never done, anybody can do it. All
Yeah.
you got to do is just make an appointment with them, let them know what you want to go do, and they'll take you on the shock boat. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing to go in there and watch these guys.
How's
shock
the
these
process go? I have to imagine, you know,
fish. The process.
it's not lighting dynamite, throwing it out in the water.
No, it's not. The first thing is I met them at their FWC office.
Right.
We go and meet them at the lake. John and I put the blazer in, and here they come with a big shock boat. It's basically a big pontoon boat. It's a pontoon boat with a big tank in the middle.
Yep.
You know, it's two rods that come out, and they're big hula hoops,
Right.
and they're stainless steel cables that come down, and they have a generator on the boat. But the whole process of what they do is basically they take that boat and run it along the shoreline, and they'll just probably hit a mile of shoreline.
Yep.
Easy,
Constantly cruising.
constantly cruising. And there's two guys that sit in the front of the boat, and they basically just their job is to scoop
Netting.
fish. As soon as they turn on that generator, it's on.
Yeah.
you can tell it's on. I mean, basically they start up, they hit that generator, an alarm comes on letting everybody know that
The electricity's flowing.
the electricity is flowing.
Don't be dangling your feet in the water.
Or going to the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
As soon as we went into a little cove, I mean, giants. And let me tell you something. Those fish, as soon as they float up, you got to be really
Right.
quick because the big ones will come up and then just start sinking because they're so big.
It had way
Right.
less effect on the bigger fish. You
Yeah.
could tell.
I can imagine. Well, I would imagine that they can't crank that thing up too high because you probably kill the little ones, and
Yeah. Because it looks like red tide behind the boat.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
You know,
small. It didn't matter what it
little
was.
brown
Anything, a little
bait
brown.
fish.
And it doesn't affect too much the gator. It does affect the gators a little bit and the turtles.
And they said the depth of that thing only go like 4 or 5 foot deep, so that's why they have to run right on the bank
Right on the
to
bank.
be effective. And I think he said it's like 15 foot wide, 10 foot out from the boat
Right.
radius
So it's just got like a radius around the
Mhm.
boat that it'll hit.
that it'll hit. Yeah.
It looks like you're killing them, but you're not.
No.
They're stunned, and
They're
it
sleepy
takes.
time.
I think he said it takes about 5 minutes for those fish to
Smaller ones, yeah.
recoup and get back to it, but it doesn't kill them. It doesn't harm them at all.
Yeah, we literally go around an island, like I say, it'd be just a mat of wounded fish behind us, and we'd come back around, they'd be gone.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up here. Stick with us. Trophy Taker Outdoors.
Trophy Taker Outdoors is being brought to you by Nautic Sport, Power Pole, Salt Life Optics, Blazer Boats, the A.B. Biller Company, and by Graphics Edge.
And we're back. Trophy Taker Outdoors. Your host Lisa Pirro, Peter Petru, Captain John Gunner, Captain Big O, doing a little bass fishing in Central Florida. We went out, had a good time with Paul Thomas from FWC. Shocked up some fish. I know it sounds horrible, but
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
It is awesome.
Like I said, we learned a lot. Those fish.
If people only knew the wonder of what's down there when you go fishing. I mean, that's the whole reason to go and fishing.
Well, and that
Yeah.
pit right there is a deep pit. So you're
Mhm.
looking at 25, 30 feet.
Yep.
So there's some shallow areas, and we ran into some shallow areas and saw some big fish. But just imagine if you could take that to your lake or a lake that you wanna fish. I mean,
Lordy.
you could learn that lake. Not just. I'm talking about for educational
Educational
purposes to learn where
it
those
would be
fish-
unfair after that.
Oh, it would be.
It'd be unfair.
But not only that, it would drive you crazy because you see all those huge bass
Yes.
and
And
trying
then when
to
you go
catch 'em.
back and you don't, all you're catching is 3-pounders. Like,
I
what is
know.
going on?
I know there's a 15-pounder in
It's
here.
kind of
Yeah.
like it's kind of like your game cameras. You see
Oh,
these
yeah.
giant bucks on, and
All year long.
all year long,
yeah.
or they go underground when hunting season comes around.
Straight scrub bucks for the rest of the year. How many big fish came up, and what was the biggest one that y'all were actually able to put your hands on?
We could actually dip as fast as we could, because like I said, as soon as they come up, they sink. So
Right.
if you're not fast, and he's moving the boat. This
Right,
guy
right,
can
right.
he can run the boat.
Yeah, he's just driving that thing, man.
Need a good net man.
Yeah, basically that's what it is, and that's not me. I usually catch the fish, and I have my partner net them for
I
me.
believe
So I'm
that
not-
because Lee missed a giant.
I did.
I'm
A
talking.
giant.
The ball just was like, get him! I mean, it was a big one.
Did they put you in timeout?
Oh yeah,
He should have been because it was a 12-pounder.
big fish, and it was, yeah. I've dropped the ball on that one.
Atta boy.
It was so big they went back around
Yeah,
2 or 3 times.
Shocked it again.
just to
to try to
shock
find it.
Yeah, he was no.
Yeah.
That
He's
girl.
like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, that-
I've been around here for a
I'm
long
done.
time.
I'm out.
Here
These
it is
guys-
for-
yeah.
With that shocking thing again, I'm gone.
This ain't my first rodeo.
I'm
He was
out.
like, I'm leaving. So, but they're safe and sound. We ended up.
How many did they take, and what did they take?
They took a bunch of shell crackers and bass and
Bluegills,
bluegills,
Specs, any?
no specs.
no specks.
They said the crappie don't hold up well in the tank
yeah.
and transport.
Yeah.
They'll live in the tank, but the transport tank
Yeah.
they don't live.
So we ended up taking them to the Florida State Fair, and it was pretty interesting because now, again, we're learning something out there, and then the people at the fair get to see all the fish and what, and their what they do and
What Florida offers,
yeah,
basically.
what Florida offers, basically. So we had a good time. I had a phenomenal time. I can't
I'm
wait
ready
to
to
go
go
back
back.
out. I got to get with O because next week you and I are going to go hog hunting on the East Coast
Yes, we are.
with Mr. Dave East, a friend of mine,
Okay.
and we're going to hit some groves. Well, we're just going to hit some. How big is this property?
I think it's a 9,000 acre ranch. We're hunting in LaBelle, Florida today. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. These guys, good friends of mine, Shane Ray, Keith Bean, Kyle Gooding, nice enough to take us down here to put us on some hogs and film a show. So it should be a good time. We're gonna ride around the swamp buggies and try to shoot some. And if that don't work, we're gonna break out their hog dogs and
We'll find them.
we'll find
Yeah,
them.
if they don't want to come out and play, we'll find them.
We'll find them.
Well, we appreciate you guys watching, listening to Trophy Taker Outdoors. God bless fishing and camo. Hey guys, thanks for watching Trophy Taker Outdoors. If you want to see more behind the scenes footage and some of the crazy stuff we do, go to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter page right below. Till next time, God bless fishing and camo. We'll see you guys.